Welcome to another week of Cheers TV with your host, Dan Sims, and my esteemed colleague, Ben Edwards.
How much esteem can we get in there?
Well,
lots.
Lots of esteem, colleague. I'm putting you up there. It's a respect thing. It's a respect thing.
We're
Ben.
feeling loved up because it's another edition of the Pinot Files.
We love the Pinot Files, and today we are going to talk about the Mornington Peninsula. It's a local region. It's only 40 minutes down the road. We absolutely love it, and it's all about Pinot Noir. Bring it on. What are we going to talk about today, Ben?
Well, it is, and just to continue on with that story, the regions around Victoria are really trying to find a variety to hang their hat on and their reputation, and Pinot Noir is the preferred variety, if you like, for the peninsula. And what we're starting to see now that the region's developing a bit of maturity, lots of different styles coming out, we're seeing a real sub-regional context, and this is one of the things that you'll hear more and more about. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today, and we've got 4 wines that really do show vastly different personalities, regardless of the fact that they're almost from the same vintage, except that that one's just a little bit younger.
But so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the Muradoc Estate, the McIntyre Vineyard Pinot Noir. Okay, well, it's from the Muradoc area, no surprise there. What we tend to see from these wines, well, this particular wine, heading to that more sort of a lighter red fruits, you know, a little bit of sage, you've got that sort of whole bunch spicy sort of character, a structure.
Yeah, sort of kind of almost those herby kind of characters rather than necessarily the Asian-y spices.
Coolery.
Coolery, it's a word.
Is it a word?
It's a word now.
Made it a word, or cool fruits. For me, this is a 91 point wine, really well structured and elegant. For me, it's a lighter body style Pinot Noir. It's a great, you know, all nice, approachable drink.
It is. And Dr. Richard McIntyre down there is a local legend. The area is absolutely beautiful. And the wine sort of, it's almost like him, you know, it's warm and cuddly.
And also, if you get down there, he's got a fantastic wood-fired oven, and you may actually have some treats down there.
Actually, he's obsessed with bread, and he makes beautiful, beautiful bread. So if you do get a chance to eat at Jill's Kitchen, you must do it. So moving away from Muradoc, we're going to move into the Merricks area, which is on the Western Port Bay side of the peninsula. And we've got a bit of a science theme happening here, and George Mahaley and his wife Ruth have really, they're all about the science of it. They're making beautiful wines, but what we see in this particular wine is this really bright, essence-y core of red fruits and like linear acidity. And here we're moving away from those herbal sort of spices and we're moving into the Asian 5-spice. And I particularly like this wine, Lamissage. And even though they say sage, Lamissage, I reckon it moves more into those spices. Look, it's beautifully put together, beautifully constructed. It is a young wine and does actually need a little bit of time, but the 08s are, you know, showing beautifully. Food-wise, I mean, this would be a cracker with some roast dark. Absolutely. Beautifully constructed. 93 points. I really like this wine a lot.
I've got to say, I've been looking at the back label, which we can't really see. It's got all these wonderful informations about everything about the wine, which is fantastic. Maybe that's scientific background.
I think that's what I was referring to.
Okay, now moving on, we've got the Kuyong Marseille Pinot Noir. Now here we're heading into the more Turong area, and we're starting to see a little bit more of that ironstone soil types.
They're littered everywhere. It's amazing. If you go down there, you look at the soils and you get these little bits of iron in the soil. It's quite incredible.
Exactly. So what you tend to see, you're starting to see a little bit more flesh in the wines, a little bit more power, a little bit more weight. For me, I'm starting to see more of that dark red fruit characters with these. Dark red, but structured, but still at the same time, really wonderful and a whole lot of generosity to the fruit as well too, which I quite like.
Well, Sandro puts this wine together, and his whole philosophy behind it is it's not about the oak, it's really about the essence-y nature of the fruit. He wants the fruit to express itself, so there's minimal oak handling. Plus the other thing here, it's called Marseille for a reason.
Absolutely, and so meaning Marseille being a clonal selection, so various different clones of Pinot Noir all putting together.
And different parts of the vineyards as well.
Absolutely.
Because they've got quite different personalities throughout the vineyards.
You talk about that essence-y character, and that's what I really like about that wine. Again, a 91 point wine, and even though it's sort of the same point as, say, the Muradoc, we're tending to see a little bit more fruit weight. This is probably, for me, to that more medium-bodied style Pinot Noir.
Where the Muradoc is definitely the lighter style. Beautiful wines. Different wine, different occasion, perhaps.
Absolutely.
The last wine, Lindsay McCall, Paringa Estate, former school teacher, can be a little bit grumpy, and I think that's a good thing because he really takes what he does.
A grumpy school teacher.
He takes what he does really seriously, and his wines are always serious. They perform beautifully at wine shows. They always look varietal. They always look powerful. He's got a really interesting little climate in the Red Hill area that's quite unique. He uses different clones than other people are using in the area, but what he always comes up with year in and year out is a very solid example of the wine. Now, this particular wine, it's a little oaky on opening, but in a big glass, even a year or two down the track, it will give you an absolutely beautiful context of what Pinot Noir is all about.
I mean, consistency with the Paringa Pinot Noirs, you know, it's got to be a hallmark. I mean, there's something about those characters. When you see it in a blind lineup, it just stands up. It says, look, here I am. I'm big, I'm beautiful, I'm delicious.
Absolutely.
Give me a little bit of time.
There's this like core right at the centre of this wine, like almost blue fruited core that says, and it's telling you about vine age. The vineyard's pretty old. And what we're seeing now is just this lovely texture and depth and weight and power. 96 points. I am very excited by that wine because even though it's oaky, the fruit just punches through.
Absolutely. Now, Mornington Peninsula, it's 40 minutes away. If you're in Melbourne, get down there. It's all about Pinot Noir. They've had handled the last couple of very difficult vintages very well.
Probably better than anybody else.
And you know, it's a great area. The people are fantastic. Get down there, support your local wine regions, and we shall see you next week for another episode of Cheers TV.
So cheers.
Cheers.